Hello guys, welcome back again, findiDARC. Now, we are at the Art of War, Chapter 8, Variations of Reality in War. Alright, so make sure you get more updates. We have another 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, 5 more chapters to go to complete, to graduate in this Sun Tzu knowledge, Sun Tzu, the art of war, strength. Alright, for you to practice it in our daily life. Prior to this, alright, don't forget subscribe to this channel. Okay, let's roll and go. Zeus. findiDARC. Okay, guys, what is variation? Variation means is many kinds. Alright, variety, variation. Alright. Okay, there are variations in all strategies and tactics. Alright. Understanding the variation of things is necessary for the warlord. The highest leader is the warlord. Alright. Of words, to be able to intelligently manipulate his troops regardless of prevailing conditions. Alright, to function successfully. Alright, the possibility of variation occurring either in part of or in total must be in the mind of proficient administrators. Alright? Okay, one of the most important variations to consider is resting place for the troops in combat, in war. The variation, the most important one of the element to consider is resting place for the troops. Warlord must ensure that they are never caught in an area where they can be taken by surprise. It's difficult to do this when troops are in a place of general mobility. It's quite hard during the mobility, during the troops' mobility. It's quite hard. Alright, if troops are dispersed over too broad an area, signals will be difficult to pass. Communication must be ongoing at all times, and there can be no breakdown if the warlord's orders are to be acted upon with immediacy during any aspect of the campaign. In the time of war, the troops should be encamped in a place of complete safety. Make sure the troop encamp in a safety, okay, complete safety, but they must not be permitted to become complacent, and as a result, derelicts, alright, in their duties. If they are encamped where their safety may be at risk, if you put them at risk, the place and at risk, alright, they will maintain resourceful and be vigilant toward intrusions. Alright, when surrounded by enemies, what happens if your troops surrounded by enemies? They know they have to fight to survive. It will keep them alert. Alright, knowing about matters such as this is one thing, understanding when and where to act upon them is another. Regardless how things seem, there are some places mentally and physically, alright, that must not be entered into until proper control of thought develops proper strategy. It's the wise warlord. Listen, wise warlord who knows when it's appropriate to fight and when it's far more effective to leave the area without a contest, still emerging victorious in the end. Because of the variations of and the uncertainties of the circumstances, there are times when the warlord must disobey the command of the ruler. The mentality of conquest is subtle And before disobeying an order, a warlord must have a deep understanding of the ruler's prime directive. There are times whereby warlords will disobey the ruler's direction, but there is have to be very prudent, have to be very what you call it, have to be very sensitive. Yeah, all right. To disobey because it may appear fashionable can only result in cost if the warlord is strong and the ruler has assigned responsibility to him, but suddenly changes directive in the middle of a campaign. There may be something happening that the warlord is unaware. A prudent warlord, listen, yeah, okay, is always appraised of changes in condition. He creates them. Disobeying the ruler's directive can lead to an overthrow of the entire chain of command, resulting in a military coup. Be careful. Once he do slight mistake, it can create military coups. Alright? Officers who disobey without just cause must be put to death, as example in war. If the officers disobey the warlord's command, sentenced to death. Alright. Unless they can justify their act. Should this ever happen, the contemplative warlord must carefully examine all avenues of cause and effects to understand the reason for it and to ensure that it never happen again. Even though sometimes warlord need to make his own decision, but not all the time, only certain crucial matters. The warlord who truly knows his truth and directive of the ruler can act on his own if it is for the benefit of the entire state. Alright. Okay. When an order is issued, it must be followed without question. If a general acts through his own volition and without authorizations, then he must be punished regardless of the outcome of his action. If the warlord does not punish violators under these circumstances, he is seeking to indulge his truth. They will eventually rebel. The warlord must rule with an iron fist. Listen, the warlord must rule with an iron fist and not necessarily with velvet glove. Alright. Okay. There is no way for specific circumstances to be foretold. Okay, the intelligent warlord carefully examines his own methods prior to attacking. He is able to see the advantage of his immediate plans and the inherent dangers as well. By manipulating the conditions of his plan, he can overcome obstacles that he discovers when initiating primary attack. By doing these things, the fates will smile upon him. Alright. If the warlord wins the war without combat, it is because he is a master of deception and guile. He can do this by presenting gifts to his enemy, causing confusion among the enemy ranks by taking their intention from the matter at hand. He uses things certain to have the effect he wants, such as, intoxicating beverages, beautiful woman, expensive gift, would whittle down enemy resources should they seek to duplicate them. He also uses cunning to deceive, manipulate the ministers of the enemy state by finding delicate matter to blackmail them with. There are always numerous methods that make themselves available to the shrewd warlord in the execution of his desire to fulfill the needs of his goals. A fierce warlord must never question his own morality. If he does, he is more concerned with popular opinion than he is with command and is not fierce. He must never let his guard down and must understand that those who do combat with words will still rely on his skill in the field should they fail in their diplomatic attempt. If they fail in diplomatic attempt, skill need to apply. They still need a very high skill in the combat. The true warlord never lets his sword be out of reach. He keeps it close because he's aware of calamities that can destroy him. Imprudence, cowardice, belligerence, arrogance, and charity. If he is imprudent, he will think in the term of foolish behavior to gain his goal. Warlord cannot be foolish, cannot use as a foolish act. Cowardly acts will cause him to lose his control and in time his life. Belligerence and bullnose bravado will constantly force people to challenge him. Arrogance will not permit him to see an issue unfolding about him. Charity and bearing compassion will show him as sniveler. Alright. Bad attitudes bring that to a person believing he is unbeatable. The wise warlord tests anyone. Listen, the wise warlord will test anyone he thinks should be a general and protector of the state. Many tests must be given on a constant, continuous basis. It is curious that rulers do not see fit to test their commanders completely before giving them the responsibility of the nation. As a result, many nations have been dismantled. Okay, can you get it until here? The variation of reality in a war. Being a warlord, how you should act, how is your characteristic, how you manner. You can disobey the warlord prime directive, provided you must well equip everything on the field, because now the ruler is far side, you in the real field, so you foresee everything in front, so you must do a very right calculation, what we call it, you must master in the variation about your enemy. Okay, just now I talked about the very important part, like the resting time, for the resting place is very important for your troops, and then your general and your officers' behavior. And under this topic, what we call it, generals, officers, they cannot disobey warlord instruction. Once they do it, once they did it, they must be sentenced. In war, excessive war, they can sentence to death. In a business, they can be sacked, they have to be fired. Okay, to make sure this is lesson to others. Okay, clear? This is what we mean by expertise of the warlord, the version while in the combat. Okay? Alright. Until here, quite short topic. Okay. Don't forget, please observe it, or you rewind back my words just now for the next subject, for this beautiful story, beautiful information. This is talking about skill, management skill. Don't forget, subscribe for next update. Alright, see you again for the next chapter. Bye.